Um, okay, so I guess starting back, because for some reason the video clip that I was recording, it was 15 minutes. It was allowed to be 15 minutes long. So I was in the middle of recording and then it stopped, and well, now we're here, so I'm gonna start like a new recording. So um, I'll probably have to like edit that one out later, and then I'll probably run it off through this one. So I think in the first video you'll probably see if I ever manage to edit that out. Um, we got passed through the character selection screen. We probably got passed through the new light quest, um, and we got passed through this guy Shao Han. So I was on the weapons part, and I was explaining there's like many weapon archetypes that you can choose from, and you can choose whatever you want that fits your play style. So you could probably have a pulse rifle, a shotgun, or a pulse rifle, a fusion rifle, or a scout rifle, and I don't know, a shotgun probably. So, there's a lot of ways to play this game, and there's a lot of weapons that will suit your playstyle eventually in the meantime. For me, though, I'm rocking shotgun and a hand cannon. That's what I like to run with. Um, I was explaining in the other clip that got cut off so suddenly that each weapon will have its own set of stats, um, and it will have their own perks, traits, and their columns. I was explaining in the other clip that these are your barrel options, which will give you additional stats or decrease it. There are some barrels that give you benefit while also giving you a cap, a handicap. These magazines options will affect your magazine. Obviously, this part, like for example, accurized rounds. This will help you. This option increases the range of your weapon, and you want lots of range on your shotgun. For me, at least. There's some that increase your magazine size. So if I put this on, instead of having 5 in the magazine, I get 6 shots in the shotgun. Uh, these 3 and 4 perks, these third and fourth columns of perks to help define your playstyle of the weapon. Um, for me, I like to have opening shot on the shotgun and slide shot. Um, so yeah, these 2 columns define the gun, and these 3 and 4 perks define the playstyle for the gun. Um, each weapon has random rolls, so no matter whether it's the same shotgun or the different shotgun or the same hand cannon or any weapon, any weapon, any legendary weapon will randomly roll with perks. And as you get further down as you play the game, you can figure out which perks are good or which perks you want to hunt down for on your weapon that fits your playstyle. You'll get into that when you play long enough. Um, there are weapon mods you can apply onto, so these are pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I want to like talk. I don't think I want to explain all of them because I don't know how. I don't know. I gotta make like a couple more videos to help you go over the game, I guess. They should get these give you a description of the mod, so I don't think having me explain it right now is probably the best. Uh, I will say that to get these mods, you can get them from vendors. I believe they will have a set rotation that you can pick it up from. I don't know if they drop in the open world as you're playing the game. I'm not sure, but I know the best way to get these mods is through the vendors, which I will show you in the later part of the video. I was explaining Masterworks. Masterworks are basically, oh, what do you call it? They're just another way to give you a stat boost for your weapon. So these masterworks, in order to maximize the stat, you have to have a material called Enhancement Cores, which will look like golden nuggets. So let me go into my inventory. I have a lot of them, 300 stacks of these. Wow, and you will, as it says in the description, require for forging masterwork gear. It tells you where you can find these, chance to obtain from legendary gear, some activities and bounties are purchasable from the Cryptarch in the tower. Um, you can get enhancement cores by dismantling legendary gear, armor, I mean, or no, actually, armor and weapons. But what else? Uh, you can there's mods to help you find enhancement cores. There's also consumables you can use to get an enhancement core. But leaving that aside, going back to the weapons, when you get further down the line and when you start leveling up, you will have to level up your weapons too, in terms of power level. So in order to keep on using the weapon in future content, you want to find something that's like um, higher than your power level of the weapon. So let's just pretend this number was 1550. So if I want to get to 1560, which is the max for this season right now, and it will change later in the future, but let's say if I want this to get to 1560, you would hover over this infuse option right here, and you'll have to find something that's higher than 1550, as I've said. And you can just infuse that. You can infuse that, and your your power level of the weapon will turn to 1560. Um, that's how you keep upgrading your gear. Same thing for this one. If this was like 1530, and I have a 1560 item in my inventory, I can choose to sacrifice this 1560 to turn this into 1560. So you stay on top of your level. You don't want to be under-leveled for activities because you'll take more damage. Um, you'll take more damage from enemies that are higher level than you, so you want to stay on top of that. That's what upgrading your gear is going to do for you. Let me see if I missed anything else. Your Guardian will have a power level, which is basically the combination of all the leveled items that you have on you. So right now, the baseline is 1560, which is basically the hard cap. Um, Once you hit 1560, then you're basically set. All you have to do, once you basically hit 1560, which is just basically the line where you want to be at. At your level, I think as a new light player, you'll probably be like you'll start off at like 1350, and you'll just have to basically work your way up, which is pretty daunting, I'd say, because going from 1350 to 1560, that's a lot of light levels, power levels. I mean, sorry, I keep mixing light levels and power levels together, but I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. It's not that I don't think it's that much of a challenge. I could be wrong though. These are your stats. These are your stats for your Guardian. Each class has their own respective dependent stat. So like what I mean is that all three classes will have three different stats that their abilities will rely on. So for us hunters, we need a lot of mobility because having mobility reduces the cooldown of our class ability, which is the dodge. So if I this is my dodge, well that wasn't perfect. That wasn't really perfect. I think I just backed up into a wall. But yeah, you can see my dodge ability recharging. Um, this class stat defines how long it takes to recharge my ability. So as it says, having 100 mobility will give you the fastest cooldown. It also increases your maximum movement speed and maximum jump height. So if you hit 100 mobility, you'll be able to jump to heights, and you'll be able to move faster. Now that my dodge ability is recharged, I can use the class ability, and I am invisible. That's because of my subclass. And this resilience stat, honestly, I'd say it doesn't matter too much in PvE content. It does make you tankier if you try to increase it, as it says right there, shield capacity increase, or resilience increases the amount of damage you can take before dying, and also reduces the amount of damage you can take while breaking out stasis. I will explain the stasis part later, but all you need to know is just resilience makes you tanky. Every time you go up a tier, it increases your health by 2 points. So I don't know what the tier zero resilience gets you at. I don't know, like 100 something HP. I know it's like 180 to 200. 180 being the tier zero probably, and then every time you increase it by 2 tiers, uh, from tier 0 to tier 5, I think it gives you increments of 2 HP every time you increase the tier. But then after tier 5, you go into tier 6 to tier 10, and it starts increasing even further, like 3 or 4 increments, 3 or 4 points of HP each tier. After that, recovery, um, increases the speed at which you regain lost health. So if you're ever wounded and you have 100 recovery, you will regain your health a lot faster than normal. Having 30 recovery is basically abysmal in PvE content. Uh, Discipline stat, intellect, and strength. Well, let's start with discipline first. I don't know why I got ahead of myself. Sorry. Um, Discipline stat will decrease increasing the discipline stat will decrease the cooldown time of your grenades and allowing you to use them more often. Um, there are different grenades with different cooldown timers, so this what you see right here will change depending on what type of grenade you have, which I will get into later. But bottom line is this determines your cooldown of your grenade. The intellect stat, which is basically how long you can get your super, how long it will take to get your super. Um, as I said before, each super has their own tier of cooldowns, so each super will vary. Each cooldown will vary depending on the super that you pick, and your strength stat will this will determine the cooldown of your melee ability. So for me, my melee ability is just throwing a smoke bomb. And this is my grenade. And I already demonstrated the class ability, but I'll just demonstrate it one more time. That's basically the bottom line. And you can see, if you see my super bar is charged, it just says it right there. My super is charged in the middle of the screen. Your super is a good way to deal some heavy damage or just clear out a room full of enemies, mobs, I guess you could say. And each super is pretty cool, and they all have their own technique. They all have their own way of working. So for me, I have a bow and arrow made of void light, made of void, and well, why don't we demonstrate it for a bit? Oh, I see an enemy in the far distance. Why don't we use him? Oh yeah, look, there's a ship dog dropping down. You know, we should probably go for that. We go invisible. Where's he gonna drop though? I don't think he's here. But anyway, this is a good one. And yeah, that was my super. You get 2 volleys of arrows for this particular super. If you want to know what this super is called, it is called this is a Night Stalker subclass, and this super is called Shadow Shot Mobius Quiver. It's probably difficult, a little bit difficult to see because of the ratio. It's either this hovering over these supers will give you a basic rundown of what they do. Where am I gonna start? Okay, so now that we've demonstrated what the super looks like, let me go just give you a rundown of the armor, and then I'll probably stop the video here, maybe, and then another video we'll probably discuss about the supers. But yeah, let's make this the final part of the video. So moving on to armor, each armor that you pick up, legendary armor that you pick up, will give you random stats. So this isn't like the weapons which have their own. They come with their own stats, defined stats. Each piece of armor will come with random rolls. So all these you see, all these stats you see will vary depending on what kind of depending on every piece of armor you pick up. So it will be different. If you want to aim for armor that gives you more recovery and mobility, you want to make sure that you get armor that focuses into that. So like for my helmet, I get mobility and recovery at the same time, while getting a little bit of discipline and a bit more of intellect. And these two are just basically the bottom. They don't give me a lot of stats, strength and resilience. Um, each each piece of armor will come with their own mods, and so let's say and they should have relatively the same amount of slots. I think 4. A normal piece of legendary armor will come with 4 slots for you to socket your mods into. Some of the special armor that I have right now have like more than 4. I think this one has like, no, this one has 4. This one has also 4 slots. Yeah, I think these are just normal pieces of legendary armor that I have, except for this one. This one I got this out of some other PvE activity. This one has 5 slots, but don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about the 5th slot. You just gotta focus on the 4 slots that you'll see on every piece of armor. So, going over that, the first slot, which will your first slot will be a stat piece slot. So there are lots of mods here. As you can see, you can slot any one of these into increase your stat. You can only have one mod at a time for that slot. So for me, I put on mobility, a mod, so that gives me more mobility. If I take this off, you can see on the right hand side, I have less mobility. But if I want to get more mobility, I just put that mod back on. So you can see on the right that it's green. That means an increase in your stat, the general location. Um, these two slots right here are your targeting mods um, for your weapons, or it can be ammo finder mods. You can either choose one or two, if you got the energy for it, because um, you have a you have an energy limit, and so you want to pick which ones you want with respective of the energy limit. So you don't want to have um, you don't want to like if you can't pick like obviously this one I don't have enough energy to slot this on. Um, if you want mods that help you aim better, these are the mods for you. There's a lot of there's targeting mods for every single weapon category. Um, for me, I have shotgun targeting and hand cannon targeting. If you want mods that help you find more ammo for your weapons, these are the way to go. There's also mods that help you with your abilities. Um, this one helps you generate orbs for your respective weapon. Rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. Kinetic siphon helps you generate orbs with kinetic weapons. Yeah, so on. The blue mod means these are seasonal mods. So each season we have an artifact that comes with the seasonal mods. So these three blue mods you see on here come from the seasonal artifact, which is basically this thing right here below what we call the ghost shell. You'll get a seasonal artifact respective to this season, and you will unlock all these mods through leveling up and gaining experience. Um, that's that. For the arms, first slot is the same as always. It's your stats. Um, these, this one's different because it's on the arms. So these are for your arms. You get like mods that help you increase your reload speed, or help you slot mods that help you stop certain types of enemies. You won't have to worry about that for now. As a new light player, I will not go over that. Um, it's also there are mods that help you swap to your weapons faster and stow them away faster. For every single archetype there is, you name it, pulse rifle, you name it, pulse rifle, fusion rifles, legendary fusion rifles, submachine guns, and anything. This mod helps me increase my grenade throw distance. Um, I forgot to explain the fourth slot. It's a combat style mod, so there are certain combat style mods that help you with your playstyle. You know, so it can range from elemental well mods that help you generate wells of light that you can pick up and it will improve your abilities or your weapons, depending on the mod. Um, we also have war mine cell mods. Don't worry about those. Am I missing something? No, not really. I forgot to mention that some combat style mods have their own certain types of affinities. So if you want to use a certain combat type mod, but it's void, then you'll need to have a different affinity for your armor. So if I use void, if I had void guns, I can use void. I can use mods that are related to the void affinity. Um, and I forgot to mention that each piece of armor that you will collect during your playthrough of this game will come with random affinities. These will be different. Some armor pieces you pick up will become solar, or void, or stasis. Uh, it won't matter much as a new light player to you because you're still trying to get into the groove of things. But once you start building your playstyle, then these elemental affinities will start coming to play. Um, I think I can explain exotics in this part of the video. That shouldn't hurt. So, um, for both weapons and armor, we have exotics, which will be outlined by a yellow border. You can easily tell, and exotics help you with your playstyle a lot. So there might be certain exotics that help you deal more damage to enemies. There might be just exotics that just completely wipe the field. They're really powerful, like this rocket launcher right here. This is a powerful exotic rocket launcher, or a an exotic grenade launcher. And each exotic comes with their own traits that are really fun to use. So if I had an example, well, what would that example? I guess I could probably show you demonstration. Let me see. Let me get something on my vault first. This might take me a while. I wish it didn't. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, this is the one. I'll probably bring some over, another one over too. Okay, so let's take this off. You can only have one exotic at a time, just so you're aware. So if you have, you can't really equip more than one exotic in their own category. So you can only have one exotic weapon and one piece of exotic armor. Um, if you want to I'm gonna switch off my rocket launcher. I'm gonna probably put this on. So, um, this is the Outbreak Perfected, which is a pulse rifle, and its fun trait is that when you land headshot kills, Siva nanites will spawn, and they will follow an enemy target that's near them. So look at that, I made a headshot and I created Siva, and now it starts infecting others. And so when they get stuck with nanites, they will take more damage from the gun. It's pretty fun to use on bosses. Now that I've demonstrated that weapon, that's just one of the many types of exotics that you can use. Another one would be a no time to explain pulse rifle. Um, this pulse rifle, generally, the more headshots that you land, if you get to 10 stacks of rewind again, which you can see on the left, if you get 10 stacks, it'll create a portal that lets bullets fly through, because that portal is basically another timeline of the weapon, and it will fire bullets from that timeline into the enemy. So you basically have a second buddy with you at all times. But yeah, that's what happens if you get 10 stacks. Well, I'm not gonna try to explain it now because I still have to get into the exotic armor. So let me switch on that. I'll put on the rocket launcher again. So yeah, so let me before I move on to the armor, let me show you what like the traits on an exotic weapon look like. So they won't come with random rolls. These are just exotics. Almost all exotics in this game do not come with random rolls. They are static. They are set into one roll, to one perk only. So like it has one barrel. Every copy of Outbreak Perfected will have this barrel, this exact same barrel, extended barrel. It'll have the exact same magazine option. It'll have the exact same trait, and intrinsically it will have the same intrinsic traits as well. This will not change at all. No matter how many times you pick up Outbreak Perfected in the open world, this will not change whatsoever. Almost all exotics are set like this. There's only like 2 exotics in the game that come with random rolls. I will show you those later, but not now. As the intrinsic trait says, this weapon creates Siva nanite swarms on rapid hits and precision kills. And the trait that goes along with it, this weapon does more damage to its enemies based on the number of Siva nanites that attach to them. So yeah, it's a pretty fun exotic to use, honestly. I love using it. Let's look at No Time to Explain. This thing is full auto. You just hold down the trigger. It's a pulse rifle. So obviously, when I said pulse rifles fire in bursts of 3, you can hold down the trigger and this will fire full auto, but it still fires in a burst. It just means you just hold that trigger and it'll still fire in a burst, but you don't have to tap the trigger every time the burst finishes. Rewind again. Precision shots and shots against combatants slowed or frozen by stasis will return to the magazine. At 10 stacks of rewind again, a small portal will open, shooting bullets from an alternate timeline version of this weapon. Precision hits extend the portal's duration. Pretty fun to use. Now for the armor. There's a lot of armor pieces that go into your arms, legs, chest piece, or helmet. Sadly, there's no exotic slots for this. We call this a class item. So for us hunters, our class item is a cloak. We don't have any exotics for the cloak currently. Same thing with warlocks. Their class item is a bond, which goes on their arm right here. They don't have anything for that. Neither do titans, which is just a mark, a titan mark, which basically looks like a robe, I guess you could say. we don't have any exotics for those class items at all. So we used to have we used to have them in D1, but I don't. There's they're not brought here into D2, Destiny 2. Um, each exotic will help you with your playstyle. Same thing with exotics. So you can try to find any. You can try to mix and match exotics to help you define that playstyle. Some exotics will help you with neutral-based abilities, like movement, like zombies right here. This buffs my sprint, slide, and my jump. I use these because it's fun. I love the movement. Um, you could have something like Lucky Pants, which helps you with your hand cannon gunplay, you know, and also increases the amount of damage you can deal for each shot you shoot for a short amount of time, of course. You can swap to your hand cannon faster and stow them away faster as well, and they're more accurate when you swap to them. Well, that's basically the description of the perk. Or you can have exotic based. You can have a ability based exotic, which helps with your supers or your grenades or your melee abilities or your class ability, like this one, Orpheus Riggs, which helps with the Night Stalker subclass. Provides ability energy for each target tethered by deadfall anchors. Movies quiver has an additional shot. Yep. And so, you can also have exotics in the chest piece category, Omnioculus, um, and like I said, arms and helmets. And like just like armor, they will come with their own random stats. Uh, maybe best if I turn this off for now. Yeah, yeah, that's more like it. Um, I haven't finished off going off the mod. Sorry. If we look into the chess piece, um, your chess piece will basically help you with your ammo economy or the flinch. We have unflinching mods that help you reduce the amount of flinch you take from a combatant. So if you're using like a hand cannon, you'd be using this mod, unflinching hand cannon aim, reduces flinching from incoming fire while aiming hand cannons. We have two of these slots. Or you could have, if you want to increase how much ammo you can store on your person, then these reserve mods are for you. Um, we also have mods that help you decrease the amount of damage you take from uh, with these mods. Like if you're in close range, this will reduce the incoming damage you take from combatants that are point blank range, or from long range. Either one. And we also have AOE damage reduction mods. This is a seasonal mod which reduces solar and arc damage from combatants. This mod is just solely for arc damage. Again, this mod it is tied to the armor affinity. Uh, so if you had a solar affinity on this chest piece, then this would be solar resistance. If you had void, then void resistance. If it was stasis, then stasis resistance. That's the chest piece. Now looking at the legs, I'm pretty sure they're pretty much the same for all types of legs, regardless of regardless of the mod slot should be the same, regardless of whether it's an exotic or legendary. It doesn't have to be. I was about to say legs. It doesn't have to be tied to just legs. Any any piece of armor will have the same amount of mod slots as any piece of exotic armor will have the same amount of mod slots as a legendary piece of armor, unless otherwise, like my cloak, which has 5 slots, but don't worry about that. For the legs, um, your legs, you can have mods that auto reload your weapons over time, slowly though. It's not. You can stack these mods too, as it says, multiple copies of this perk stack to reduce the time taken to fully reload. Um, you can also have mods which are called Scavenger Mods, which help you pick up more ammo from a brick. So when you kill enemies, they have a chance to drop. They'll have a chance to drop a brick, whether it be green or purple. Green indicating that they're special weapons, and um, purple indicating that they're heavy weapons. These mods will define how much ammo you can pick up from that one particular brick. Uh, what? Yeah. These mods help with abilities. So when you pick up an orb of power, this will these mods will apply to that. This no, you don't have to worry about these later. I'm just trying to give you a basic rundown. Um, and then for the cloak, uh, same thing for the stat mods, but these mods are generally your ability these are purely ability-based mods. So some seasonal mods will belong on the cloak, and some seasonal mods will belong on the some seasonal mods will belong in any piece of armor, respective to their armor slot. That was probably too confusing to explain, but you don't have to worry about the seasonal mods for now. Uh, they will help you in the end game, but not now. You're just a new light player. You can have mods that, besides having mods that help you with your ability regeneration, or I think they're just ability regeneration. You can also have mods that are your finishers, because we have finishers in the game, and these mods will help out with finishers. So yes, so I think that's basically a basic rundown. I'm not sure if I explained everything. So, but I think in the next video I'll explain supers. But right now I'm going to show you what a finisher looks like. So I'm going to increase the sound. I know this video was supposed to be just for explaining the basic rundown of armor and guns, but let me just show you what a super. These are I have we can have multiple. You can have a lot of finishers. You can have multiple finishers. You don't have to be locked at one at a time. Although as a new light player, you will have just one finisher. You can get more finishers through just by playing the game. Oh yeah, so I don't think it was finishable, but yeah, see this brick. This is a special brick, and now I have no special ammo on my shotgun. If I pick this up, I will get ammo for the brick, or I will get ammo for the shotgun. Whoops. Let me show you a finisher. Okay, well he was one shot. So oh, okay. Well they're all one shot. So let me find a meaty enemy. This guy right here. Okay, well that didn't work. Obviously, that had a shotgun. Let me just switch to a submachine gun. You know. Yeah, these are one shot weapons. Oh no! Nah, hold on. We gotta find an enemy. Alright, if you get a certain enemy to a low threshold of their health, there's this yellow dot that indicates that they can be finishable. So depending on what your finish button is, you press that finish button and you'll perform a finisher. And yeah, that's a finisher. Yeah, like I said, there are mods that enhance your finisher abilities, that give you extra benefits of doing a finisher. You know, for like this one, if you finish an enemy, you get special ammo. You generate special ammo for the entire fire team. If you finish somebody, you'll reload all your weapons. Or this finisher, you gain a portion of your energy for your least recharge ability. So yeah, there's a lot of mods that help you define your playstyle, and hopefully you'll find one that suits you in the end game. As a new light player, this might be overwhelming, I understand, but I think it'll be easier to play. The more you play, I think it'll be easier the more you play, and the more you like understand about the mod system, and the time that it takes to understand the mod system. And if you play with a friend, then yeah, it will totally help in the long run. That should be it for this video. I'm gonna cut it now, and I'll explain supers in the next one.